In the ancient kingdom of Pasir Batang, a wise king named Prabu Tapa Agam ruled with a gentle hand. As the years turned his hair to silver, his thoughts turned to succession. He had two daughters, Purbararang and Purbasari, as different as the sun and the moon. Purbararang, the elder, was blessed with striking beauty, but her heart was a chamber of pride and jealousy. Purbasari, the younger, possessed not only a loveliness that seemed to radiate from within, but also a heart of pure gold, kind and compassionate to all. The king, seeing the true nature of his daughters, knew who was fit to rule. He announced his decision to abdicate, not in favor of his firstborn, but for Purbasari. The court was stunned. Purbararang's world shattered. The crown she had always believed was her birthright was given to her younger sister. Rage, hot and venomous, coiled in her heart. She vowed that Purbasari would never sit on that throne. Blinded by envy, Purbararang sought out the darkest magic in the kingdom. She found an old witch, her face a roadmap of cruel secrets, and paid a handsome price for a terrible curse. That night, as Purbasari slept, dreaming of her future as a benevolent queen, a creeping blackness enveloped her. When she awoke, she screamed. Her once flawless skin was now covered in grotesque black spots. Her beauty was gone, replaced by a disfigurement so shocking that the palace recoiled in horror. Seizing her chance, Purbararang declared that Purbasari had been cursed for some terrible sin, a sign from the gods that she was unfit to rule. No one dared to question her. Under Purbararang's command, the royal guards dragged the weeping Purbasari from the palace. They took her deep into the jungle, a place of tangled roots and shadowed canopies, and abandoned her to the mercy of the wild. In the heart of the unforgiving jungle, Purbasari felt a despair so deep it threatened to swallow her whole. Alone and afraid, she wept until she had no tears left. But even in her darkest hour, her innate kindness did not waver. She shared the wild fruits she found with the monkeys and sang softly to the birds. The animals, sensing her gentle spirit, were not afraid. They became her companions, her only family in the vast green wilderness. They showed her which berries were safe to eat, where the clearest streams flowed, and protected her while she slept. Among these creatures was one who watched her with intelligent, mournful eyes. He was a large black longer monkey, whom the other animals seemed to respect. His name was Lutung Kasarung. He was unlike the others. There was a strange, sad wisdom in his gaze. Lutung Kasarung was drawn to Purbasari's gentle nature. He watched how she treated every creature with respect, never showing bitterness despite her cruel fate. He felt a powerful urge to protect her. One day, seeing her loneliness, he decided to act. He led the other animals in building a small, sturdy hut for her, woven from branches and thatched with large leaves. He brought her the sweetest fruits and the most beautiful flowers. Purbasari, in turn, found comfort in his presence. She would talk to him for hours, sharing her memories of the palace and her dreams for her kingdom. She sensed that this was no ordinary animal. There was a soul within that furry form, a silent understanding that transcended words. One night, as the moon cast a silver glow over the jungle, Lutung Kasarung saw Purbasari gazing at her reflection in a puddle, her face etched with sorrow. He knew it was time to reveal his power. He retreated into the deepest part of the forest and began to meditate, his focus absolute. The air around him shimmered. The ground trembled. With a surge of immense magical energy, he commanded the earth to open. From a spring that bubbled up from the ground, a small, shimmering lake appeared. Its water was as clear as crystal, and a fragrant steam rose from its surface. He then returned to Purbasari and, with gentle gestures, urged her to follow him. Hesitantly, she walked with him to the clearing where the magical lake awaited. The water glowed with a soft, ethereal light, inviting her in. Trusting her strange friend, Purbasari stepped into the warm, fragrant water. As she bathed, a miracle unfolded. The dark spots that had marred her skin began to dissolve, fading away like smoke. Her skin became smooth and radiant once more, even more luminous than before. When she stepped out of the lake, she was not just healed. She was breathtakingly beautiful, her inner goodness now perfectly mirrored in her outward appearance. She looked at Lutung Kasarung, her heart overflowing with gratitude. Who was this magical creature who had saved her? He simply looked back at her, his dark eyes filled with a profound affection. At that moment, a royal messenger, having lost his way in the jungle, stumbled upon the clearing. He froze, recognizing the long-lost princess, now more beautiful than ever. He bowed low and raced back to the palace to report what he had seen. The news of Purbasari's miraculous return and restored beauty reached the palace like a thunderclap. Purbararang was incredulous, then furious. How could this be? She refused to believe it. She rode out to the jungle with her fiancé, the handsome Prince Indrajaya, and a retinue of guards. There, she found Purbasari, radiant and serene, standing beside the black langur. The sight of her sister, more beautiful than ever, sent a fresh wave of poison through Purbararang's veins. She would not be defeated so easily. Her mind raced, searching for a way to discredit Purbasari once and for all. Publicly, she challenged her sister to a series of contests to prove who was more worthy of the throne. Purbasari, confident and no longer afraid, accepted. The first challenge was a test of skill. Who had the longer, more beautiful hair? Purbararang, smug and confident, let down her own magnificent black hair, which cascaded down to her waist. The court murmured in admiration. Then, Purbasari untied her hair. It flowed down like a silken waterfall, not just to her waist, but all the way to her heels, shimmering with a healthy, otherworldly gloss. The court gasped. Purbasari had won the first contest. Purbararang's face tightened with fury, but she quickly announced the final, ultimate challenge. A queen must have a worthy consort, she declared, her voice dripping with malice. Let us compare our fiancés. Mine is the handsome Prince Indrajaya. She gestured to the prince, who stood tall and proud beside her. Where? She sneered, looking at Purbasari. Is yours? A cruel silence fell over the crowd. Purbasari looked around, her heart sinking. She was alone, save for the loyal animals of the forest. Then, her eyes met the steady gaze of Lutung Kasarung. Without hesitation, she walked over to the black langur and took his hand. This is my fiancé, she said, her voice clear and strong, ringing with a conviction that stunned everyone into silence. Purbararang and her court burst into cruel, mocking laughter. A monkey? She shrieked. You wish to make a filthy ape your king consort? You have truly lost your mind. The laughter echoed through the clearing, a wave of ridicule washing over Purbasari. But she did not flinch. She stood tall, holding Lutung Kasarung's hand, her loyalty unwavering. As the laughter reached its peak, a blinding light suddenly erupted from Lutung Kasarung. The ground shook violently. The crowd fell silent, shielding their eyes in terror. The light was so intense, so powerful, it seemed to burn away the very air. When the light subsided, the ugly black langur was gone. In his place stood a man of breathtaking beauty and regal bearing, more handsome than any prince they had ever seen. He was even more striking than Prince Indrajaya. He turned to the stunned crowd. I am Prince Guruminda, he announced, his voice commanding respect. I was cursed by a cruel witch to live in the body of a monkey. Only the love of a truly noble woman could break the spell. He looked at Purbasari, his eyes filled with love and adoration. Her kindness, her loyalty, and her love have set me free. The entire court was speechless. Purbararang and Prince Indrajaya stared in disbelief, their faces pale with shock and defeat. The truth was undeniable. Purbasari had not only proven her worthiness, but had also revealed a prince of immense power and nobility. She had won. Overwhelmed with shame and fear, Purbararang fell to her knees, begging for her sister's forgiveness. Purbasari, true to her compassionate nature, forgave her sister and Prince Indrajaya for their cruelty. The sisters were reconciled, and the kingdom celebrated. Purbasari ascended the throne as queen, with her beloved Prince Guruminda by her side. They ruled Pasir Batang with wisdom, kindness, and justice, bringing an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity to the land. And their story, a tale of true beauty, inner strength, and the redemptive power of love, became a legend whispered for generations to come. Face story. Every legend has a story. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales from around the world.